Hi, welcome to Open Door Yoga. My name is Michelle, and this class is designed for those days when you have been sitting far too long. Maybe you're going on a fun trip and you've been sitting on a plane or a car for a long period of time. If that's the case, have fun. Or maybe you just work for a job that requires you to sit for an extended period of time. Whatever the case, there are going to be two versions of this class. Today's class is a chair yoga practice, so it's going to be perfect for those of you who prefer or maybe find chair yoga a little bit more accessible in your body. It may also be good for those of you who are on that trip or in that job and are still sitting and just need a little bit of movement to your body. The other class that I'm going to link below when it posts next week is focused more down on the mat. And so I'll have some props to help out our bodies if we're feeling a little stiff and sore, but there will be no chair involved. So take your pick, get set up, then let's get started. We're going to start today's practice seated in our chair. Hopefully you have chosen a stable chair with 4 legs that can ground down evenly into the ground. If not, pause the video, find a kitchen chair, dining room chair that kind of fits your needs today. As you arrive, make sure that you can scoot forward enough where you can ground down through both of your feet, ground down through both of your sitting bones. And if you're not feeling grounded, maybe shimmy shake from side to side to find that grounding sensation. And let's start by finding a little bit of length in our low back. There's a tendency for those of us who sit for a long time to slowly start losing this nice posture that we start our day with, and we just dump all of our upper body weight into this low back because it takes a lot to engage our core throughout the day. And most of us don't do a good job of it. I know I don't. So let's bring a little bit of length, a little bit of love to that low back area by keeping that grounding sensation through your feet, through your sitting bones, and then slowly reaching the crown of your head up towards the sky. You might feel a little stretch through your side bodies, maybe a stretch through the sides of your neck as you allow those shoulders to relax down away from your ears. If you're noticing that your back's starting to arch, like you're coming into a seated cow pose, just pull that belly button back in. It's going to fire up that core a little bit, and that's good. We want to fire up those muscles that help support good posture so that we can keep our spine and our body healthy as we move throughout the day. As we allow this upright posture to settle into our body, maybe take a moment of mindful awareness of the breath. The breath is such a key aspect to yoga postures and to yoga classes. Syncing movement with the breath, just reconnecting with something that we don't think about very much during our day, but that affects our health and our mobility greatly. So notice that gentle expansion, not only in your chest, but in your lower ribs, maybe even down into that belly. As your breaths get a little bit more deep, a little bit more full. We'll just take one more full inhale here and exhale. And then keeping our tall spine, take some single shoulder rolls. So start on one side, then take it to the other. You can move in whatever direction feels good to you. For me, it always feels good to roll my shoulders back because it kind of reminds me to keep my chest a little bit more open during the day. Most of us, not all, but if we have a tendency one way or the other, it's to round through our upper back body. So gently open up through that chest. Get a little bit of mobility through your shoulders. Maybe this allows you to slide those shoulders even a little bit further down away from those ears. Just take one more on each side. And then settle back into this comfortable, easy seat. Maybe a little less than comfortable down here, but we're going to move a little bit to take that attention away. Begin to send your right arm up towards the sky, almost like you're reaching up for a high rung of a ladder. You could even grab your fist towards the top And then send that elbow down, reach up with your opposite hand. We're gonna do these kind of almost like half rock climbers or mountain climbers if you do some different types of exercise classes, or just this visualization of climbing a ladder. See if you can find a little bit of mobility in the shoulder joint by pressing your fingers up towards the sky, maybe even drawing your bicep towards your ears. And then allowing that shoulder to kind of sink low as you take it to the other side. Take one more on each side. And we'll come back to our comfortable seat. Maybe that helped open up those side bodies a little bit. If not, we're gonna head that way right now. I'm gonna invite you to bring your right hand to grab your chair just for a little stability. And our left hand's gonna sweep up and over as we hinge to the right. Now, if you are in a seated job right now or traveling and you don't have this much space, just bring your hand behind your head and imagine more of this lifting up and over sensation in your waist. Breathe deep into that left rib cage. Stay grounded through both sitting bones. Inhale, rise on up. Send those fingertips back up to the sky. Exhale, draw your left hand to the outside of your right thigh. From here, send that right arm up to the sky. Exhale, hinge over to the left. You may feel this a little bit more differently in your body than you felt that first side body stretch. And I know it's a different side, but you may feel a slightly different sensation in your body. Again, if you don't have space, bring that right hand behind your head. Keep those shoulders in line. So if you're noticing that you're rounding or opening up a whole lot, we're trying to keep just a lateral movement here. One more full breath in. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise on up. Maybe take another shoulder roll or two before we take it to the other side. So we're gonna start very similar to how we ended the last one, but hold onto the chair with your left hand and then send that right arm up and overhead. Again, find the variation that fits kind of the space that you're occupying today. Breathe deep. See if you can hold on to that connection with your breath as long as possible today. Inhale, rise. Exhale, right hand to the outside of your left leg. Inhale that left arm up and overhead, and exhale, hinge. Again, find that up and over sensation in your waist. One more full breath in. Exhale, release your arm. Inhale, rise back to our comfortable seat. From here, we're gonna get down into our low back, our hips, and even our hamstrings a little bit. So take any adjustments that you need in your chair to send your right leg long. So I like to scoot a little bit more forwards so that there's space underneath my hamstring. But if you need a little bit more support, you can scoot back. You could even rest your foot on a stack of books, or maybe even a block if you're practicing at home or in a space where you have those materials available. From here, inhale, find that nice tall spine. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Imagine drawing your heart towards your big toe. So sometimes there's this tendency to kind of find this giant curve in our back. Keep that tall spine. We worked really hard for it, that opening in our chest. That being said, release any tension in your neck. So you don't have to kind of keep this extended posture in your neck. Nice long neck, just nice long spine as well. As you settle in, maybe on your exhales, you can hinge a little bit further. Your hands can stay on your hips. Maybe they find a comfortable spot on your shin or maybe up here on your thigh. One more full breath in. Exhale, release your breath. Find a little engagement in your core so you can safely, On your breath in, rise back up. From here, we're going to find a little bit of a counter stretch. So begin to point through that right toe. Maybe the sole of our foot reaches the ground. Grasp your chair with your left hand and then send your right arm up and overhead. You're going to find a nice stretch through this entire side body. If you want a little bit more opening, you can bring your hand behind your head and find a little bit of opening through your chest. If that does not feel comfortable, you could keep that arm extended, or you could even bring your hand down towards your hip. So find that variation that feels best in your body. And we'll take 3 full breaths. One more inhale. Exhale, let it all go. Inhale, rise. Let's take that sequence to the other side. So shimmy around, find that position where it feels good to extend your left leg. And we're keeping that flexion in our ankle for this first posture. Slight twist so that we're pointed towards our toes. And then find your big breath in. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Now, if you're noticing that this hinging sensation just isn't happening in your body, you're feeling a lot of tightness in your back or your hips or your hamstring, maybe you're just really sore today. Bring your fingertips to the chair behind you, press gently, and just see if you can find a lift through your heart space. Maybe roll those shoulders back. And as you settle in, maybe you could hinge ever so slightly forward. Maybe, maybe not. 3 more full breaths. One more inhale. Exhale, if you've hinged, find that engagement in your core. So on your next breath in, you can rise up safely, protecting that low back. Keep your left leg extended. Point through those toes. Feel a nice stretch to the top of your ankle. We rarely stretch through the top of our ankle. And then find that arm position that feels most comfortable as you open up to the best of your ability today throughout your chest and your side body. So maybe that's introducing this twist into the posture. Maybe it's keeping a nice long line, or maybe it's getting a more comfortable and secure spot for this hand and focusing on keeping the lift in our body versus dumping into our hand. Lots of things that you can practice. One more full breath in. Exhale, release that arm wherever it is. Inhale, rise back up. We're going to get into those outer hips that can feel uncomfortable when we sit for too long. So hug your knee to your chest for just a moment. Maybe take a little slide from side to side if that feels good. And then we're going to cross our right ankle at the bottom of our left thigh. Flex into that ankle like we did when we were stretching our hamstring a bit to keep our knee safe and to keep the sensation in our outer hip. Once you're set up, once you're safe, inhale, nice tall spine. Exhale, maybe you hinge forward. Maybe you find that your fingertips to your chair and that nice lifting sensation in your body. Find what feels right to you. And we'll pause here for just a few breaths. If you've lost that connection with your breath and your body, maybe take a moment to reconnect. On your next breath in, rise back up. We're going to cross our leg completely over and then inhale our left arm up and overhead. Exhale, gentle twist to the right. If you find that having your leg crossed over is too much in this thoracic spine, you can bring your foot back to that figure 4, or you can release it completely back to that nice easy seat that we started with. We'll take 3 full breaths here. On your inhales, allow your spine to grow even taller. Create some space between the vertebra of the spine. And exhale, use that space to twist from your core, maybe a little bit deeper. Your gaze can be neutral, or maybe you gaze past that left shoulder, or that right shoulder rather. On your next inhale, unwind. Let's take it to the other side. Balance. Before we do our figure 4, hug that left knee to your chest. Maybe take those slides from side to side if it feels good in that hip crease space. And then we'll make our way to our figure 4. Find that ankle flexion. And what I mean by that is we're drawing the top of our foot towards our shin to just protect our knee. Keep the posture targeting that outer hip, which is where we want to focus. Inhale again, tallest spine possible. And exhale, hinge or find that fingertip variation. And you may notice, you probably will notice that one side of your body allows you to move a little bit deeper into the posture. And typically that just means that we carry stress differently between the 2 sides of our body. If you practice with me a bit now, you've heard me say that before. And that just means that it might look a little bit different practicing one side versus the other, and that's okay. We want to match intensity. So make sure that the sensation you're feeling is the same as the first time, even if it looks a little bit different. One more full breath in. Exhale, find the leg position that you're going to want for this twist. Inhale, send your right arm up and overhead. Exhale, gentle twist to the left. If you've been sitting for a long time, you probably haven't been moving your spine. And we moved it a lot from side to side, front to back. But twists have a little bit extra intensity to them. So treat your body gently, kindly, with grace, with love. 2 more full breath exchanges. Then inhale, unwind, come back to your comfortable seat. From here, you can take any last minute postures that feel good. If you've been sitting for a while, maybe it's some ankle rolls. Maybe it's just a little self-love with a massage to your palms and your hands. Whatever feels good in your body, feel free to take it. And then make your way to the shavasana of your choice. If you are in that job where you can't get off of your chair, maybe just extend your legs long, lean back in your chair, and take the seated restorative posture that serves you best today. Thanks for joining this practice with me. Have a great rest of your day. Namaste.